What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we are going to take a look at Blitzway Michael Jackson, their answer to InArt's Smooth Criminal. And I saw the prices for this, so it's just kind of confusing to me because it's very ballsy by Damtoys, by the way, to go after InArt, who's arguably right now is in the firm position of being a better rooting hair company in the business. You know, I would say that with full confidence that they are better in terms of rooting hair when it comes to 1/6 figure, even better than Hot Toys. I would do that. Very ballsy, and the timing is a little, questionable. Like I said, to go after somebody you would consider at the top of their game currently. But nonetheless, we are here, and the head sculpt is not bad. It certainly isn't, but the problem is now you're going after InArt. Now you have a direct comparison. If this was released without InArt, I'm pretty sure this would sell a lot more. But look at the hands. Those are normal. Why does he have fisted hands? And those look feels like fisted hands from like a regular figure. You know, when you buy an InArt figure, it feels like everything. And if you haven't, you're missing out, because InArt is one of the best right now, if not the best, when it comes to like quality of figure. Just the overall experience of owning one is different, and I would say this in front of Hot Toys. It's a different experience when you get an InArt figure, regardless if it's rooted here or not, because I have both. I've got the Joker, which is rooted, and also Aragorn, but I've also had sculpted Superman, Man of Steel from BBTS, which is arguably one of the best figures I've ever owned, and also Paul Atreides, which is, again, they're both rooted. I mean, they're both sculpted here, but one of the better figures in my collection. With them releasing this and the price being so close to InArt, their only hope here is that InArt doesn't sell out. That's it. Because otherwise, if I was an MJ fan, which I am, but I don't know if I'm that big of an MJ fan to spend like $500 something on MJ, that I would get this. If I was a huge MJ fan, I would take a look at InArt first and then buy this, because as the only saving grace for this figure is the diorama piece. That is it. And to some people, it's a huge diorama. It's beautiful. Now, I might be in the minority here, but you guys know that I am a huge diorama guy. To most people, I would say 90% of collectors who also likes diorama, space is an issue, which I totally understand. I relate to that as well. The diorama that I buy, I don't use them. It's stored. I take them out when I'm taking pictures, but that's pretty much it. To most collectors who doesn't do what I do, diorama is just, extra money that they're spending on, and maybe they're not willing, like myself, and that is totally understandable, to keep the diorama in a storage space and have it dust there for eternity. This is not a huge diorama, I get it, and the jukebox is beautiful. With that being said, would you sacrifice the head sculpt and the overall just look of InArt? Because to me, InArt has a better head sculpt than this. I'm not liking the nose here. I'm not liking the mouth, the way he's it's like a pseudo smile. The hair is decent, but kind of like InArt more. The base looks good as well, but InArt is not as bad. But once you factor in the brick wall behind him, and then you get the jukebox, which also lights up, that's when it becomes a difference. But that is also worth like 120 something, which is not bad, honestly, in a world of diorama. But you're not getting a different base. They're using the same base, so basically it's the wall and then the jukebox itself. It's not like you have a totally different, platform on that. I also noticed that I'm not a big fan of, his clothing, and also the overall, I would say, body type. I'm not Yeah, I'm not. Well, in art is in a different level when it comes to body type of figures. They always nail it when it comes to, let's say, Man of Steel, and also Aragorn. You know, they for some reason they always, this feels, at least from the prototype, this looks like a, you know, TTM regular body. And Michael Jackson is a slender person. I totally get that, but I'm not digging how the fit of the suit looks on him, at least compared to in art. This is the problem when you go against somebody like in art. Now, I wish this was a lot cheaper, but I understand that this is also rooted hair, so it is gonna be challenging to make him as affordable. You know, like, what would be a good price for this to be able to stand against InArt? I don't know. This is retailing for like $420 without all the bases, and InArt is $400. I'm looking at the website for with the Michael Jackson. So InArt, their Michael Jackson, just the regular one, is, you know, $478. The regular one for Damtoys is, and this, both of them, when I mean regular, they don't have this beautiful intricate base, is $419. We're talking about like a $60 difference. I would totally get the InArt for $60 difference. You know, like, so what is a good price for this, for people to even consider this? You know, I don't know, $320 maybe? So that would make it a little bit more palatable. But $320 is a regular figure without rooted hair, you know? So Blitzway was kind of like on a bind here. If you ever own any Blitzway figure, their Resident Evil is also expensive. I think that's around $3 something as well, maybe $300. So with this being rooted hair, magnetic base, you know, then you got to add extra to that. And I totally understand that. The problem is there is a better option out there, and much more, I would say, not even better, a more reputable option out there. So it'll be a tough one for Damtoys for sure, but they do make good figures. But I would love to hear your thoughts here. If you are going to buy an MJ, will you get this or the InArt version? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, especially my MJ fans out there. Would love to hear your take, because if it was me, I would go InArt all the way, you know, but that's just me. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as well, and hit that like button. And I'll see you in the next video.